since I caught you all that ice. You got no chill, no more.
Hi YouTube. I just want to say thank you for 1K subscribers. I really appreciate it. Like, thank you for the love and all the comments. Y'all really make me laugh. You know, thank you for everything. Thank you for showing love and everything. I know I already said that, but I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. But, you know, thank you so much. I did not expect to hit 1K subscribers. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very consistent yet. I'm gonna get consistent. But like, I haven't really, you know, I only have 4 videos, so I didn't think, you know, I thought y'all would look for somebody that uploads daily. But thank you so much for 1K. That's a very big milestone for me, because I thought that I was gonna be stuck at like 100 subscribers at least. So thank y'all so much. I appreciate the love, the support. Thank you for watching my videos, watching me yak, run my mouth and everything. And yeah, so I'm so excited for this video, because this video is going to be like a coming out story, but also like a story time about my awakenings and like being outed and, you know, all that stuff. So let's get right into it. I ain't gonna waste no time. So if you're new here, I'm London. Nice to meet you. Hello. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what y'all want to see next, any other story times, what vlogs y'all want to see, whatever activities. It don't matter. Let me know in the comments. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Anyway, let's get into it. I know I already said that. Oh, okay. So, I personally always knew I liked a guy since I was like 6 years old. Okay, 6 years old. How? I watched a lot of movies, TV shows, and no, I'm not going there. I didn't watch no gay TV shows, movies, because I know how y'all. Other people, y'all think that kids, like, no, it ain't none of that. Okay, it's just that I've seen very attractive actors on movies that were around my age at that time, you know. So when I was a kid, I would attract other, like, well, they would be a bit older, like 10, 11. But then I did have a crush on a teenager when I was like 9 years old, who's famous. Started out with watching TV. You know, I was like, oh, this guy's very cute, you know. And I feel like it always starts there, if it don't start with, you know, school. But I did also have crushes at school who were guys. I think, like, I said I had crushes on girls, but like, it would be like more emotionally, not like, oh damn, like I wish, like, you know, like it would be like emotionally, if that makes sense. And I did have girlfriends in the past. So I have dated women, because I dated more than one girl. I always knew. So at the time, like when I was about like 12 years old, so let me start. When I was 9 years old, I had the hugest crush on Ross Lynch from Austin and Ally. Like, I used to watch Austin and Ally all the time, and like I had the hugest crush on him. I even had a dream about him when I was 9 years old. We weren't doing nothing. We weren't doing nothing crazy. It's just that I met him one time, and you know, after that dream, I kind of like, my feelings were just kind of like, you know, kind of strong. So let's fast forward to when I turned 12 years old. Because I always had crushes on guys, you know, from school, TV, whatever. 12 years old. I had my first huge crush at school on this guy named, I'm not gonna say his name, but we gonna call him Z. I had a huge crush on him. Like, I was like, okay, so what does this mean? Like, I kind of didn't like it, because I grew up in a religious, like, environment. So I grew up being taught that guys is not supposed to like other guys, girls is not supposed to like other girls. So, you know, like, I didn't like it, you know. I'm like, this is not right, this is disgusting. But when I was 12, I did have a crush on this guy, and I used to see him around school. We never had classes together, but I used to always see him in the hallway, and like, you know, he had blue eyes, curly hair. I think he was white and black, but he looked more white. And yeah, we were about the same height at the time. He would always make eye contact. I would always look away so fast, because I can't make eye contact with my crushes for some reason, you know. But he found out like a year later, because one of my friends that I stopped being friends with told him. And we kind of became friends. Me and him became friends. But then, like, he found out, and he was like, so-and-so told me that you had a crush on me. And I was like,
that's not true.
like, I told him, like,
no, that's a lie. She's lying, because I'm not her friend anymore. Plus, we dated before, so, you know.
So yeah, anyway, let's fast forward to the coming out story. Cause so I was 12 years old. 12 was like a big year for me. I was going through puberty. I was, wonder what things are, like I was like figuring things out. Like, when you start to feel stuff in puberty, like you kind of just find things out. I searched it up. I was like, what does it mean when you like girls and boys and just say you're bisexual? So, and that's how I was new to it, because I pronounced it bisexual. And the first person I came out to was one of my friends from middle school. And I was like,
I'm bisexual.
and she was like, you meant bisexual? I was like,
oh, yeah, that.
And she was like, oh, okay, like, I already knew that. I knew you were. And I was like, oh. So, yeah, I told her. She was like, you sure you're not gay, though? And I was like,
no, I'm not.
by the way, I think I had some internalized homophobia, but it's understandable because I grew up in, like, a religious household. So, like, that has a lot to do with that. So, I told her, I told some other friends, and all my friends didn't care. I only told the girls because, the boys in middle school, they always like, oh, you gay? Oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, it's always them. So I told all my friends that were girls and everything, and they still love me regardless. But the first family member I told was my uncle. He always knew anyway, which is crazy. I feel like everyone that is gay has that family member that just knew that you were going to be gay or bi or whatever, like, So my uncle, his reaction was basically like, he didn't care. Like, he loved me no matter what. Like, he was like, oh, well, like, I kind of always knew since you were little, and like, yeah, don't let nobody tell you what you can and can't like, and and I was just like,
thank you.
Like, I didn't know what to say. So, that was kind of like a weight off my shoulders. I felt so much better that I told at least one family member. After him was my aunt. Because I really believed that I was bisexual at the time. I didn't want to believe that I was gay. So yeah, I told my aunt, like, the whole Bible conversation. Like, at the time back then, like, she was, I wouldn't say religious, or, okay, I'm gonna just say religious. She was, but like, she changed now. Like, she still, like, of course, believe in God and everything, but like, she doesn't judge or anything. She doesn't, like, she has her own beliefs, but she don't judge. Like, she loves everybody no matter what. So that's the good thing. But when I was 12, like, she was just kind of like, it's wrong. And like, I don't know, like, told her, I was like, at the end of the day, like, I am who I am and nobody can't change that. So like, I don't know, like, I guess she thought that prayer could, but God knows how many times I prayed to God and asked him to change me. And, still gay. Yeah, I told her, and we had a whole conversation. I kind of felt bad because I thought she hated me, but I was young. I didn't understand, like, people have their own beliefs, and like, people believe in what they believe in. You can't change that. So, told her, it wasn't really like nothing really big happened in my coming out story when I was 12 years old. But told her, and then I think my grandma found out like sometime after that. And my grandma's very, very religious, and still is to this day. So I've been told by multiple people that I was going to go to hell. I'm going to do this and do that. That kind of affected me mentally throughout my teen years, because I will always like do research and be like, oh, am I really going to hell for being gay? Am I really going to hell for liking what I like? Like, as I got older, like, I kind of just learned how to love myself and like really like embrace myself for who I am. Like, there's people that are still in the closet that can't love themselves because they really care about what their family thinks, and like, you can't live your life for other people. That's what I really like came to realization when I got older. Like, you can't continue to live your life for your parents, whoever, So, I believe in God, but like, I feel like God knows my heart. He loved me no matter what. He knew who I was going to be before I was even born. So he knows my heart, and God knows I love him. So, and he loves me, and I'm not going to let nobody tell me, that something's wrong with me. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I told them, we're going to fast forward. Because after I came out, like, I was still dating girls. Like, I was still attracted to guys, but I was still dating girls. So, like, in middle school, high school, like, I was still dating girls. I never dated a guy throughout those years. I just had crushes. Like, I was still having that little feeling where, like, like, I can't do it. I can't do this and do that. Like, I was kind of like, The good thing is that the girls that I dated, middle school, high school, they already knew I was bi. So, I feel like that's very brave for someone that's young, in middle school, high school. They knew. Dated girls throughout all those years. Junior year of high school, I kind of like just did it like a foreshadow, like a self-reflection. That's the word. I did some self-reflection. Like at that point, I wasn't even attracted to women. Like I was not at all. Like I found them pretty, but I just wasn't. I feel like it was just more of an emotional thing, or like trying to fit in with the norms and everything. But you know, when you're young, like you and you're LGBTQ, like you know, it's hard. So you don't know how to deal with those feelings. So, you know, junior year of high school, I stopped caring. You know, I was 17. And like I did some self-reflection. I still didn't want to believe I was gay. Cause like I believed it was still wrong. I believed, you know, and I was talking to guys, I was doing me and everything still, but like, you know, I still had my little guilt and everything, you know. Then when I was 19, like I
was like, bitch, nigga, you gay.
You gay as hell. Like, you're gay. And accept that shit. Accept that shit. Stop living a lie. Stop living a lie. Stop trying to be something you're not. You're gay, and that's okay. You know? I'm telling myself that. So I was like, okay, well, you're gay. Because I tried cooch, and my shit stayed like this. It didn't go like this. It stayed like this. So, you know, oh my God. Which that can be a whole different story time for y'all if y'all want to hear that. But then, so my uncle was the closest person that, you know, I had that I always talked to about everything, my gay experience and everything. So anyway, yeah, that's one of the family members that, you know, I talk to all the time and everything. But anyway, fast forward, 20 years old, I was outed. Not outed, but like, you know, my grandma believed that you can change your sexuality. She thought I changed. She thought my sexuality changed because, you know, the religion thing and everything. So she thought that I changed. She thought that I was no longer into guys. So I was outed. I don't know who told my father, but I was outed to my father. And my father was like, so
You're gay, or, you know?
At this point, I didn't care. I was like, yeah, I am. And he was just like, well, you know, my dad became closer with God. And he was like,
You know what happened with Sodom and Gomorrah?
Blah, 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 blah.
I don't even want to go into that because it's just, like, every time I just think about that, it's like, it disgusts me. And I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, regardless of what you think, like, that's just what it is. Like, you know, it's like, well, at the end of the day,
Like, you're my son, I'm gonna love you regardless, but I'm just not with that.
I'm like, that's totally fine. I don't care. Let me say something. I don't care who is with what. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you believe in. Just don't disrespect me. That's all I ask. So I was outed to my dad. I don't know who told him. And then I was outed again to my grandma. And that was a whole thing. I'm not even gonna say the family member's name. I'm not gonna say who did it because I don't want to put too much business out there. But she just like, cause we had a whole family like issue, and then she told my grandma, she was like, so you're gonna tell her? And I was like, tell her what? What are you talking about? And she was like, you gonna tell her what you like? I said no. Like, we're not gonna get into that. I'm not trying to hear none of that other stuff. And she was like, well, go ahead and tell her, like, get it off your chest. And I was like, that is not for you to tell, you know? And she's like, well, you're attracted to guys, right? And I just said, yeah. Like, I was like, why are you bringing that up? That was a whole different situation. And like, I felt so scared and nervous because I know how my family is. And like, I didn't appreciate that. You don't out nobody like that, you know? You're not supposed to out anybody. That's not right. You're not supposed to out people. When they're not ready to come out to somebody, that's not your job to tell them. That's their job, not yours, you know? So I was outed to her, and like, I had to come out again. Because my grandma believed at first that my sexuality changed. I guess she really did. And like, she was like, oh yeah, I kind of knew, like, you know what I'm saying? You were kind of into men and everything, but you know, that's wrong and blah, blah, blah. I had to hear all that again. I hate hearing that because, you know, so I felt so much anger, sadness, anxiousness. Y'all don't understand what it's like to be outed. Like, I felt so much from that I held that against her, the family member that outed me. And I didn't even confront her no more. I just let it go, but like, I still felt what I felt. That was fucked up, you know? So, and God knows I love her to death, but you still wrong, period. That's not for you to do. Anybody out there that's straight, you don't out people like that. Like, if they're not doing you no harm, don't be on people like that. You don't know what situation someone's in. You don't know how their people's gonna react or anything. So, but before my mom passed away, she would always ask me like if I had some attraction to guys and everything, you know, when I was young. And like I would just say no. And like, you know, because I would be scared to tell her and everything. So I never came out to my mom before she left and passed away. But I feel like she always knew. My uncle said she knew anyway. So, but ever since I came out and I started being myself and loving myself, and I've been on a self-love journey, like I felt so much at peace, and I've been open to dating, you know, and you know I am a proud gay Black man who is still working on loving himself throughout everything. So anyone that's out there that hasn't came out yet, take your time. You know, it's nobody's business at the end of the day, but just take your time if you're planning on doing it. Love yourself, no matter the outcome. Just know you're loved by other people. You know, there's people out there that will still open their arms and consider you family or friends or whatever. They gonna love you regardless. But if someone react a bad way, they didn't love you in the first place. You're supposed to love someone no matter what. I never understood why someone's preferences really like distract people, you know. So anyway, I feel like my coming out story is not very. It's not really like interesting, but I hope y'all enjoyed. I was asked to do this. Yeah, I was asked to do this, and you know, I feel like I kind of skipped and beat around the bush a little bit because I didn't want to put my business, like too much of my business out there. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy. If y'all want more story times, please tell me what story times y'all want to know. I seen a comment in the comments. I seen someone say your first time topping, and I was like, should I do that? So y'all let me know. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn that post notification bell, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.